Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. We are going to teach you something. We're going to teach you how to lose Redshire. All right, so if you want to know exactly how you lose Redshire nearly every time, then stay tuned. So I just had this game. It's about 6:41 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I'm old and I get up early, so that's what happens. I play some tanks. And here I am trying to knock out some of my tank rewards missions for the day so I can get on with the day. And this battle just happened. So we're on Redshire. I've spawned into the south. I'm in my Hawk 12, which is a tier 8 German light tank, a scout. This tank is a tank I've not played very much. As a matter of fact, unlike most every other tank in my garage, I don't even have paint on this thing yet. The crew itself is at about 83%, which puts, I believe, there's only 3 crew members in here, so the driver and gunner are at 93. Whatever the bonus is for the commander sits at about 83%. So really not the greatest setup for a tier 8 game. I'm bottom tier in a 357. But we're here in Redshire, like I said, spawned into the south, and I'm headed up to this scout hill and this bush, which is a great place to start right here. So take a look at the deployment as this starts to happen. I've got a scout trolling around there. I don't have 6th sense, so remember that. Moving around this bush is probably not the best idea right here. I'm glad I didn't get spotted. And the 90 GF takes a hit and he's trolling around. Okay, pretty standard. There's scouts right there. So when you take a look at Redshire and you look at the way my team is deploying, this is a pretty standard deployment. I would really like to see more tanks over on the east side than we have, but that's okay. We've got some of the heavy hitters, standard snipers on the middle hill. Not too jazzed about the mediums all being sitting there, but there you have it. And then we've got a small cluster of guys going over to the useless west side of the map. The castle on the west side needs to be minded, but you're almost never going to win a game by pushing over there. So let's just see how this pans out. Now, what I'm surprised about here is I have not seen anybody pass by that spot. The reason I get into this bush is if you look at with my binocs cooking, I really have that covered pretty well. And you give great SA to anyone who is behind you coming up into the 9-0 line area about what is coming. And since I'm fast enough, I'm really surprised I haven't seen one. Now, somebody did sneak through. You can see an IS area. I'm thinking, well, maybe a couple snuck through. I just didn't see them. So let's see how this pans out. Looks like they're 51-20, which is actually one of their better players is over there. Because my crew skills are so low, I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with these long-range shots. They really tend to go all over the place. I don't really think you need a crew with a bunch of great skills and perks, but you almost always need a crew that's at 100%. There really is a drop-off in performance if you don't have them on their basic qual, like driving or gunning or being a commander at 100%. So try not to run around with anything less than 100%, especially at tier 8. But as far as the rest of the skills go, you can still do quite well without them. So I'm really looking at this curiously, and right now what's going through my mind is there is no way they only sent one tank onto the 0 line. And I'm thinking, I guess there is a way. And guess what? There's a bunch of guys over there. There's their 268. He's a decent player. He's up on the top on the sniper hill. So I'm thinking, wow, they are in big trouble. And now we're getting into the point of how to lose Redshire. Look at where the enemy team is now cornered. They don't have any great options as far as surprising us in any way. There's no real crossfire options for them. They are now about to be crossfired. And people who like to get up on this sniper hill, this is fine as long as you have standoff shots and people don't get up underneath you. But once you start getting lit on that ridge, it's a killing zone. And their problem is they have no eyes down here. We just killed the one they had, the IS-3. So I'm just going to use this bush to kind of know your maps. Take a look over here. I'm going to try to get this P Victoria. See if we can kill him off, and that is going to shoot into space. And somehow that Rev got a pixel of me. Hit me. Holy cow. Now when you're running around without 6th sense, you just have to assume you're spotted when you shoot in a situation like that and start moving away. I'm thinking the Rev probably backed off, so I'm just going to come up here and get into this bush again. Got a 704 there. So that explains it, doesn't it? The ST1, the 704, the 268, these guys are all camping their ridge. Nearly the entire team, other than a few that went over and lost in the castle to our castle push, They all camp the ridge or hit around the corner right here where this ST1 is. And that's just bad juju. It's just not going to work. Watch this shot. Woo! My gunner needs some more training, that's for sure. This is really over. All that remains now is how much damage can you individually get or spot for. That's where we are. Really lucky on not getting damaged by the T-34 too. So I come in here and look for another shot, and he's looking right at me, unfortunately. So I can't really sit here. Now I've got the Uds thinking, oh my goodness, not a great spot. I should not have stopped there. If I had just tucked up underneath where I'm going right now, I'd have been just fine. Right about to this spot. And now I can start working some spotting damage. I got about 1,100, 1,300, 1,500, just simply because I spotted these guys. And that's my point there, where if you're going to sit on that hill, it's fine until you lose your eyes. Once you don't have standoff, because they had a scout up underneath them. Look at that, I just racked up 1,500, 1,600 spotting damage. Now you're an annoyance, right? They have too many angles to defend from. I come up and over, I hit the 268. He's looking at guys over there in the flat. He's got me up above. He's got some guys potentially fairly soon coming around behind him. Just taking a look. And you do have to be careful working this backside like this, because they can shoot you from down where the ST1 and the 704 are. I'll just come up here and put some ground between me and them. There's the Rev. Let's see, how do I get to him? Don't have to worry, he's dead. I owe this guy a hit, so we'll give him one. Hey, look at that, there's an artillery. So we'll just sit here for a second and shoot him. One of the things about sitting still in a situation like this, especially if they're getting swarmed like this, it's not a great idea. You don't want to sit there for a long time, but there is often a reasonable expectation that they're too busy shooting other guys. Be careful, look at where they're pointing at, see if their turret's pointing at you, where their shots are going, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, you can just get in here and add yourself to the swarm, and it really is a safety in numbers thing in a lot of cases. I'm just going to get up in here, and guess what I find? The poor Batchat 25 TAP has managed to put himself up against a rock, and he's turned over hating life. I'll just auto-aim him and shoot him. There is an arty, so my worry here is potentially that the arty is zooming in on me. We take him down. I start to move. That was a bit of a mistake, but I just stayed locked. No, maybe not. It didn't look like I was going to get a reload. And now we're just tearing these guys a new one. Down he goes, and they're all gone. So from an initial position, trying to help my team know what's going on over on the east side, finding out there's not much going on, pushing up to that initial ridge, getting some spotting, seeing what's going on, and then pushing up underneath them. We just destroy them in detail because they simply had no map control. The other part, obviously, for Redshire is they didn't go to the critical terrain. That's tied into the no map control because they just didn't have anyone on the 90 line to stop our push from going all the way up to about B7, B8. And that is just a recipe for disaster from the north spawn. It's going to happen. I looked at the teams. None of them were really great. There was a couple good players on the other side, but they also stayed back and sniped. I don't know what goes through their minds necessarily. Sometimes what I think it is that they look at their team and go, holy cow, I'm just going to sit back and get the damage I can. Or I'm in a 50-120, I can't really go fight in the front anyway, so I'm going to go over here to this kind of asymmetric side on the east side and see if I can't make something happen over there. So it could be a combination of all those things. But if you want to lose Redshire, the best way to do it is send nobody to the 90 line, put everyone camping that ridge, and lose at the castle. Alright guys, hope you liked what you saw. Hope you learned something. 1,500 damage and 3,189 spotting in a 80% or so crude Hawk 12 because the enemy team was that bad. Take it easy.